Craig Jones is in Kyiv, Ukraine to teach jiu-jitsu in a war zone. In a single afternoon, he raised $15,000, every dollar going to soldiers on the front lines. This is the same guy the internet knows for steroid jokes and trolling Brazilian jiu-jitsu. What almost nobody realized, while everyone was laughing at the memes, Craig Jones became one of the most significant humanitarian figures in combat sports. Craig Benjamin Jones was born on July 17, 1991 in Adelaide, South Australia. Like many Australian kids, he played footy, basketball, and tried his hand at various martial arts, including Taekwondo and Judo. At 15, he discovered MMA and decided he wanted to be a UFC fighter. To supplement that dream, he started training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under his cousin, Matt Jones, at ISOHealth BJJ in Adelaide. For years, Craig competed sporadically in local Australian tournaments, treating BJJ as just a tool for his MMA aspirations. That changed in February 2013, when as a purple belt, he won gold at the IBJJF San Francisco Open. It seemed like the beginning of something, but then at the Pan American Championships, he was submitted by Hunter Ewald in the first 30 seconds. That loss motivated Craig to transition to full-time BJJ training. He moved to Melbourne to train under Lachlan Giles at what would become Absolute MMA Academy. Craig would later describe himself as a shitty Australian grappler, facing the elite guys in the world, but the self-deprecating humor would become his greatest marketing tool and his biggest blind spot. Craig's competition career accelerated rapidly. In 2015, as a purple belt, he became the first Australian male to win an IBJJF World Championship, taking gold at the Nogi Worlds. That same year, he qualified for ADCC, the sport's most prestigious tournament, by winning the Asia and Oceania trials in the 88 kilogram division. But at ADCC 2015, Craig showed up weighing only 80 kilos, giving up an 18-pound weight advantage to his opponents. He lost in the first round to Hamla Bahal. Craig later admitted, "I remember just being like, there's no way I'm showing up to ADCC 2017 at 80 kilos again, giving up an 18-pound weight advantage here."
Like, I already was a shitty Australian grappler facing the elite guys in the world. I'm not coming in live.
So Craig did what many elite grapplers do, but few admit to. He started taking steroids. In 2017, preparing for ADCC, Craig began his first cycle, 500 milligrams of testosterone per week for 6 months. The first injection administered by a local drug dealer. It went so badly that Craig said,
And I was hobbling around like I'd had a fucking bad night at a gay bar for a while. Couldn't pull guard for a while.
When Craig tried to cycle off after 6 months, the post-cycle therapy made him feel emotionally unhealthy. So he traveled to Tijuana, Mexico, bought testosterone over the counter at a pharmacy, went into the bathroom, and in his words, and just fucking loaded up the quad. He never successfully came off steroids again, but his honesty about performance-enhancing drugs would become part of his brand and his philosophy. At the 2017 ADCC World Championships, Craig Jones shocked the grappling world. He defeated Leandro Lo, one of the sport's legends, via rear naked choke in the opening round. He then defeated Murilo Santana with a flying triangle and submitted Chael Sonnen with a heel hook in the absolute division. Craig lost in the semifinal to Keenan Cornelius and the bronze medal match to Shanji Hibera. Flow Grappling named him Biggest Shocker of the Year and Breakthrough Grappler of the Year. Craig's performance put him on the map. He started winning Polaris Championships, the 205-pound title in 2018 by defeating Jake Shields.
Yeah, he's splitting, he's looking, there's the inside heel hook.
Then the 185-pound title by beating Keenan Cornelius. At ADCC 2019, he earned silver in the 88 kilogram division, losing only to Mateus Diniz in the final. In 2019, Craig moved to New York to train under John Danaher, alongside Gordon Ryan as part of the Danaher Death Squad, the most dominant team in grappling. Then when COVID hit in 2020, the team relocated to Puerto Rico. Craig was competing at the highest level, training with the best, and building a massive social media following. But here's what most people focused on: Craig's memes, his self-deprecating Instagram posts, his jokes about taking steroids, his willingness to say on podcasts exactly what stack he was running: 200 milligrams of testosterone, 100 milligrams of nandrolone, 50 milligrams of Anavar, 5 milligrams of Cialis a day.
Daddy, chill.
He called it the
Don't face some of the best competition. People will still be like, that's the second best guy in the world.
implying his old teammate Gordon Ryan had the best. Craig explained his transparency.
I put my stack out because I also, like, just say no doesn't really work with drugs. You know, it's like you just say no, kids take it anyway. I'd rather at least to the next generation let them know what I'm taking.
He wanted to prevent young athletes from using dangerous doses by providing a baseline from an elite competitor. While the community debated his PED honesty, they completely missed what he was doing with his platform. In March 2024, Craig Jones did something extraordinary that almost nobody in combat sports had ever done. He traveled to Kyiv, Ukraine to conduct a charity seminar, not just anywhere in Ukraine, but the capital city. Shortly after, one of the heaviest bombardments it had experienced. The journey took 14 hours from Poland to Kyiv. Craig raced the midnight curfew to enter the capital. That That night, during his drive, Ukrainian air defense shot down 31 missiles. A Russian 4,000-kilogram ballistic missile truck, approximately 5 minutes, 5 blocks from Craig's hotel. The seminar attracted over 250 participants in a small sports recreation center. 150 tickets sold out within 2 hours of announcement. Craig charged $50 per attendee. Every single dollar, between $11,000 and $15,000, went directly to Ukrainian soldiers on the front line, purchasing ammunition, medical supplies, and defensive equipment. The attendees weren't just regular practitioners, they were active soldiers, people who had lost limbs in combat, and special forces operators. Craig stated, "I'm here to support these people, the only way I know how, through jiu-jitsu. And I'm not very fucking good at that, but I can strangely sell out a seminar." But Craig didn't just hold a seminar and leave, he traveled to the front lines, in the partially Russian-occupied Donetsk region. He toured villages previously occupied by Russian forces, he went underground into bunkers where Ukrainian competitors were operating drone missions. He visited apartment blocks damaged by missile strikes, he met with special forces, operators living in basement bunkers, he participated in weapons training with semi-automatic rifles, RPGs, M60 machine guns, and Soviet-era weaponry. He even visited the Chernobyl exclusion zone, which had recently seen fighting and was now covered in landmines, and photographed himself near the reactor, including near the elephant's foot, one of the most radioactive materials on Earth. Throughout this, Craig received gifts from the fighters he met, a knife made from a destroyed Russian tank column, a Cold War-era bayonet from a Ukrainian police chief, who was a hero of the 2014 Donetsk airport defense. The bayonet was later confiscated at a European border after a 9 to 10 hour negotiation, though he kept the Russian tank knife. Craig returned to Ukraine in July 2024 for a second charity seminar in Odessa, described as the biggest seminar in Ukrainian history. With over 200 participants during the seminar, Craig broke an attendee's leg after the participant ruled aggressively despite warnings. Craig's response:
I come to a war zone to teach for free at my own expense, and you go, let's just roll.
The total raised between $11,000 and $15,000 for frontline soldiers, the risk taken traveling to an active war zone during missile bombardments, the media coverage almost none, because Craig Jones was the jokester who took steroids and made memes. The community was too busy laughing to notice the humanitarian traveling through missile strikes. But Ukraine wasn't an isolated incident, it was part of a pattern that everyone missed. In August 2024, Craig organized the Craig Jones Invitational, a jiu-jitsu tournament deliberately scheduled against ADCC 2024, the sports Super Bowl. Craig secured $3 million in funding and offered $1 million prizes for the winners of the under 80 kilogram and over 80 kilogram divisions. He paid $10,001 in appearance fees, deliberately $1 more than ADCC's top prize at the time. The event took place at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas, streamed free on YouTube, and attracted over 100,000 concurrent viewers. Nick Rodriguez won the over 80 kilogram division, and Kade Rotolo won the under 80 kilogram division. But here's what people didn't talk about. Craig raised $500,000 for Tap Cancer Out through ticket sales, sponsorships, merchandise, and direct donations. The CGI's direct donation was matched dollar for dollar by Kasai CEO Rich Byrne and an anonymous donor. Craig claimed the total charitable impact from CGI reached approximately $750,000. John Thomas, founder of Tap Cancer Out, stated, "No organization has ever done as much to shine its light on Tap Cancer Out as CGI did. To put this in perspective, Tap Cancer Out had raised $6.25 million total since its founding in 2012. CGI's contribution represented months of typical fundraising achieved in a single weekend." Meanwhile, Craig's stated mission was, not only can we pay fighters significantly more than they've ever been paid, but we can also make a massive charitable impact. Craig then conducted a 2025 European seminar tour that raised over $100,000 for charity. He founded the Fair Fight Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit operated by his B Team CEO, Seth Belial, with the mission to elevate the sport of jiu-jitsu and directly support charitable causes across its global community. Craig also supported Guardian Gym projects internationally providing Brazilian jiu-jitsu training to homeless children in Ethiopia, where 16 homeless children lacking official identification were giving training, meals, and mentorship. He established jiu-jitsu schools in Brazil's favelas for underprivileged youth. He personally sponsored athletes, covering travel, lodging, and training costs, including meeting competitor Owen Jones at the airport and arranging accommodations when Jones couldn't afford the trip to train at BT. Add it all up, Ukraine relief between $11,000 and $15,000, CGI raising approximately $750,000, European seminar tour $100,000, Guardian Gym programs ongoing, individual athlete sponsorships undisclosed. The conservative estimate puts Craig's charitable impact well over $1 million. And yet, if you looked at Reddit threads about Craig Jones during this period, the top comments were about his memes, his jokes about Gordon Ryan, his steroid transparency, his self-deprecating humor, and the pattern was clear. Craig's brand of not taking himself seriously had become so effective that even when he did something serious, life-threateningly serious, people still didn't take him seriously. In July of 2025, announced his retirement from competition and his departure from B Team Jiu-Jitsu, the gym he co-founded in Austin, Texas in 2021. B Team continued operations without him. His final competitive appearance came at CGI 2025 in August via buggy choke in 30 seconds, then again in 1 minute 15 seconds in an immediate rematch. It was vintage Craig, finishing a legend quickly twice, making it look easy. CGI 2025 had shifted to a team-based format for a $1 million prize. The final ended in controversy when B Team and New Wave tied 47-47 across all 3 3 judges, with B team declared the eventual winners by Nick Rodriguez receiving a 10-8 score in the final bout, serving as a tiebreaker. Gordon and Ryan accused CGI of corruption, posted apparent contract excerpts suggesting different tiebreaker rules, and claiming the rules were fabricated to guarantee B team's victory. An anonymous donor initially pledged an additional $1 million to New Wave, then rescinded it after reviewing pre-tournament ruled meeting footage. The internet exploded with debate about the decision. Craig's credibility was questioned. His tournament was called corrupt, and in all the chaos, almost nobody mentioned that CGI 2, despite projecting an $800,000 loss due to underwhelming ticket sales, still maintained its free streaming model. Craig's current social media presence remains dominated by memes, jokes, and his ongoing public feud with Gordon Ryan. A recent exchange saw Craig leaking private messages where Ryan bragged about ADCC earnings, to which Craig responded, "You're welcome. Buy your wife's boyfriend something special." Another message from Craig to Ryan read, "You know I could put yours in prison," suggesting possession of incriminating evidence. If you scroll through Craig Jones' Instagram today, you'll see exactly what you'd expect: memes, shitposts, steroid jokes, and Gordon Ryan trolling. But if you look closely, you'll see scattered posts of his charitable work. A recent post shows him chaperoning an anxious child to a jiu-jitsu class after his father reached out for support. The comment section on his posts are exactly what you'd predict. "Didn't have wholesome Craig on my bingo card. Can you drop me off next? I'm 37. Strange watching such wholesome content from you. Was expecting you to fart on the kid or something, but it never happened." Very few commenters likely know about his work in Ukraine, Ethiopia, or with Tap Cancer Out. Craig Jones successfully became the jokester everyone loved, and in doing so, he made it impossible for people to see him as anything else. Craig Jones once said about his steroid transparency, "I'm not trying to hide anything. I want people to know that you can accomplish things at a high level without going completely overboard." But that philosophy extended far beyond PEDs. Craig Jones accomplished humanitarian work at a high level, traveling to war zones, raising $750,000 for cancer research, supporting homeless children in Ethiopia, all while maintaining a public persona that made it nearly impossible for anyone to take him seriously. Maybe that was the point. Maybe the jokes were the armor, maybe self-deprecation was a shield against the vulnerability of caring too much. Or maybe Craig Jones simply understood something that most people don't: that you can be both the clown and the hero, and that sometimes the best way to do good work is to make sure nobody's watching you do it. While most people will remember Craig Jones as the funny Australian who took steroids and trolled Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a smaller group will remember him as the man who raced midnight curfews through missile strikes to raise money for soldiers, who created a tournament that revolutionized fighter pay and donated $750,000 to charity, and who supported homeless children all over the world while everyone else was distracted by his memes. Perhaps the real joke is that we spent so long laughing we forgot to pay attention, and maybe that's exactly how Craig wanted it.